make us hit your wounded hand.
Oh, it's fine. It didn't. They prescribed me like some hard test pain medication. It didn't hurt at any point. I didn't even get the pain medication. I was like, it was like, I don't know, 30 or 40 bucks to pick it up, and my insurance sucks. And I was like, honey, let's see what happens. If I need it, I'll go get it.
Introductions of teams.
I don't think we're gonna do intros due to some time constraints. Just bring us when you bring us in. Just go ahead and.
Well, yeah, I'll introduce myself, you introduce yourself. If we have time, we do it, and if not, it's like we'll get to it when we get to it.
We'll talk about it. Cameras there.
I literally cannot see him.
Just hand me down.
And it was funny, I was waiting with the bench coach and when I got to alkaline meter, she's like,
Hello and welcome back to our continuing Big O coverage here on Track 3. We are about to see the Rose City Axles of Annihilation up against the Angel City Derby Girls Rocket Queens. I am Tara Armoff.
And I am the king.
And we are here to commentate the heck out of this game. Everyone is on the track. We have 15 seconds till game time, so we will get to rosters in just a second. Axles of Annihilation yesterday played the arch rival B team, and they beat them 326-73. And Angel City, the Rocket Queens, played against the Victoria B team, and they were defeated 260-152. I was able to talk briefly with Lacey Knight. I'm sure you've heard of her. She is on the Angel City All-Stars, and she was saying how the Rocket Queens are more prepared for this game mentally, and so this is going to be fun for all of us to watch.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see this game in action. Out there on the line, starter ruckus number 69 for Axles of Annihilation, and Chica Go Lightning out there for the Rocket Queens.
That's right, Chica Go Lightning, just coming back from having a baby.
Wow.
Yes. She's usually a Scarlet, but since she's just coming back, she's Rocket Queening up, though she is on both rosters for the weekend.
Starter ruckus right now trying to get around on the outside. Excellent wall work, though, being laid down by Rocket Queens. Starter ruckus now trying to fight through the inside line and still getting lots of resistance from that incredibly strong purple wall. Chica Go Lightning pops out the other side. She is your lead jammer.
We had a little momentary star stash as a starter ruckus got out of the pack on her initial pass. Chica Go Lightning comes in, picks up her 4 points, calls it off.
Vishaka Sion was the last line of defense on that. She gave her a little bump out of bounds, and quickly that call-off happened, and that was a nice move. But to get her points, get her hips around, call it off quickly. Pearl Jam's going to be on the line for Rocket Queens, and she will be going up against Vanna Curtis.
Angel City pivot starting out in the penalty box, so pack advantage for the Axles of Annihilation.
Vanna Curtis trying to fight her way right through the center of the pack. And Pearl Jam does make it out the other side of there as your lead jammer.
Pearl Jam used to be part of the juniors program with Angel City. She has aged up and is already on the Rocket Queens, which is fabulous.
Vanna Curtis did, in fact, navigate her way through, but just as quickly as she did, Pearl Jam did get through. It looks like there is a backblock penalty being called, and an insubordination, I believe, is going to be a full minute for her in the penalty box.
Oh, and we have Vanna Curtis on the floor.
Vanna Curtis not feeling very well right down here at the top of the apex between 3 and 4. We went ahead and whistled the play done. They will get out there and start the next jam. Looks like she might have taken a hit to the head.
Now, luckily, she's sitting up and everything, so it's.
She's talking to the EMT, so that's always a great sign. She's probably got her bell rung, and it's always good to see them able to communicate like that.
Well, and just makes me appreciate the EMTs so much because they are always right there, ready to do their job. They would rather be bored most of the time, but it's good that they are so on top of everything.
Right.
She's back up on her skates, and she's about to head over to the medic area, it looks like.
And they're just going to walk her off the track. They're probably going to check her out a little bit. She will, of course, in the Angel Derby, you do have to be out for at least 3 jams, but I have a feeling there will be more than 3 jams before she will return to this game. If all things go according to what I see on the track, Thunderdame is already out there with the star on her helmet.
And this will be a power start for the Axles of Annihilation.
Full jam is in the penalty box. There will be 4 blockers out there, though, for the Rocket Queens.
And both Axles of Annihilation and Rocket Queens are the same in that they practice with their respective A teams for their leagues. And so it's kind of a fluid roster for both teams. It's like the top, I know for Angel City, it's the top 30
yes.
For both teams. And I assume that is the same for Rose City?
Exact same. And it really works out. They mix it up. Everybody gets a lot of time to learn, and get better from each other. And it really cultivates a nice culture within the organizations.
All right, reps are getting back into place. Axles of Annihilation starting back on the jammer line, but they're opening it up. Angel City starting with a braced wall near the pivot start.
This jam is on. Axles of Annihilation are lining up on the inside. Here comes the waterfall, and it worked just like it does in the textbooks. Thunderdame is out as your lead jammer.
Angel City trying to reset their wall, unable to do so.
Thunderdame ricocheting off of Webster. Very strong move for her. And she comes in capitalizing on this power jam. Nice 2-wall was set up. And that is number 241, Lily Powell, that came in and opened up that can to get her jammer free.
Yeah, really nice assist there. Oh, Pearl Jam back on the track. Tries for the apex jump, has to reset behind because she didn't stick the landing.
Thunderdame up front. Has already got one of them to have to drop to have that bridge in place. 4 points have now been picked up by Thunderdame on that last pass.
Pearl Jam trying to take that outside line, meeting Zizou in the front.
Lily Dow gave that last little bump to get her out of bounds and roll her back.
Nice work by Tokyo Drift trying to stop beyond Thunderdame.
Big hit on the outside. Ruth Robertson went down and did get landed on by Bullet Sucker. Thunderdame did get through in the front, picking up another 5-point grand slam.
19 points scored so far by Beyond Thunderdame in this single jam.
Thunderdame through again. Nice little twist to get that last point on Webster. Calls off that jam, gives a high five to one of the coaches on the sideline.
24 points total for Axles of Annihilation, 4 points for the Rocket Queens, 26 minutes on the game clock for this first period.
Block Lobster out there going up against Little Bratney. Slight pack advantage for the Axles of Annihilation.
And again, they're building that wall right away, right up on the jam line.
They even do with like almost a quick rollback to catch her before she could even get over the jam line.
Oh, wow. Big hit by Brawl Stanley. She goes to the penalty box for it.
Yeah, Little Bratney, there was that one player on the inside, number 75, who did roll back. Regulator caught her off guard, and that's how you get that power jam.
That's right. So now this is a power jam advantage for the Rocket Queens.
Right now, nice recycling by Axles of Annihilation. Lots of offense came, and they managed to continue to weasel out of it. But finally, they did get their jammer free block. Lobster is out and on her initial pass.
Block Lobster facing a tripod in front, but getting a lot of assisting from her teammates. She makes it through for a scoring pass. Little Bratney out of the box doing the star stash.
Yeah, that was a really nice hit to get their jammer free. Little Bratney now up in corner number 3, does a nice little hop, skip, and a jump to get through. Had the star in her hand, puts it on as she goes.
Ross Stanley going back to the box for a forearm penalty on the Rocket Queens.
Little Bratney taking a humongous hit on the outside. There is going to be a penalty called. I believe that was on Regulator. That is going to deplete the plaque to one blocker. Vishaka Sion comes in and demolishes that blocker, picks up a back block penalty in the process.
Block Lobster just not seeing any daylight. Now she does. Manages to get out, calls it off. 4-9 jam in favor of the Rocket Queens. Rocket Queens now up to 31 points for the Axles of Annihilation. Just under 24 minutes in the first period.
I'd like to thank the Big O Tech team. They're the ones that are making all the sound come your way. So I'd like to give a big shout out while we're on the mic, and they are the ones that make the magic happen right here for this event. Next up, you are going to see Alkali Metal. She will be going on
Zip drive.
Zip drive. She was so quick and zipped right on
Just-
by me.
yeah,
I couldn't even see it.
She was zipping right up on the inside line, but got caught by the Rocket Queens defense on that inside. So Alkali Metal is out in lead for the Rocket Queens.
Zip drive really having to struggle with that strong defensive wall that's been set up. She finally managed to eke by on the outside.
Alkali Metal through for a scoring pass. She gets the signal from her bench to call it off. She does so after picking up 4 points. 17-31 in favor of the Axles of Annihilation.
Starter Ruckus is going to be back on that line with a star on her helmet for the Axis of Annihilation. And Pearl Jam is going to join her out there with a star for the Rocket Queens.
I like Rose's consistent setup on that front line. It's like they have 3 right there on the line and 1 right in front to start bracing anywhere that they are needed.
Yep. Starter Ruckus tries to run up that inside line. She is met by Webster. Webster escorts her out of bounds, and she's got to go back and start again.
But she gets out and gets lead for the Axles of Annihilation.
Pearl Jam still trying to fight through that wall. Nice little bit of offense coming. Oh, Starter Ruckus was gearing towards that inside line, but the defense actually glided Pearl Jam over, and it stopped her.
That's what happens when you don't take the friendly side. But she's already around, ready to score more points for the Axles of Annihilation. She gets knocked out, has to reset behind Webster. Or does that want to tease?
Brawl Stanley is up front trying to open up a little bit of room to get her jammer free. Finally had to give up and block on Starter Ruckus, who is back through again, picking up another 5-point grand slam. Oh, Starter Ruckus just took flight. She picked up 5 points the easy way, jumping over the apex.
And Pearl Jam just not finding any relief whatsoever. She is not able to get out of the pack at all right now.
And we have a star pass. That is Red Raven who's got the star. Yes, it is.
First star pass of the game.
Starter Ruckus calls it off right as Red Raven came in.
That was a 20-point jam for the Axles of Annihilation. They're now up to 51 to Angel City Rocket Queens 17. Just under 21 minutes in the first period.
Laughing Planet's been rolling burritos in Eugene's Galaxy for over 10 years. Just 6 blocks away from this venue, that's the Laughing Planet.
I want a burrito.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
Best hand food you can get. Vanna Curtis is back. Looks like she shook off those cobwebs that she got in that last time she was at Jammer. She is back out there and trying to fight her way through now.
But it's Chicago Lightning that is out and lead for the Rocket Queens.
Chicago Lightning, Rogue One tried to jump in front of Chicago Lightning. She easily glided around that. And now she's still trying to fight through, getting dropped into corner number 2.
She resets quickly and is back in the action. Both jammers just trying to fight their way through braced walls. Tokyo Drift on her way to the penalty box for the Rocket Queens, and as is Bullet Sucker.
Vanna Curtis, with the depleted pack, found a much easier path to get through, and she has finally got out of the pack.
Oh, I like Kenya Diggett telling her teammate to move up, telling Webster to move up, trying to break that pack apart to spring the jammer. Not quite successful. Time ran out on them, but they did score 5 points. 22 points for the Rocket Queens, 51 for the Axles of Annihilation.
It also gives you that extra bit of space, that extra bit of seconds that you can do to get your blockers. They've got 2 blockers now sitting in the penalty box. They need to get them out. And how can they burn that time?
Alkali Metal back on the jammer line for the Rocket Queens.
That's going to be Thunder Dame bouncing up that inside line. She is your lead jammer on that pass. Axles of Annihilation have both those blockers tied up. Thunder Dame takes flight, picks that landing, and picks up 4 points in the process.
Yeah, beautiful distraction by Axles of Annihilation on that, distracting regulate her just enough, and she realizes right after Thunder Dame landed the jump, it's like, oh crap. She just went by.
Whiskey Von Sweets was out there for a brief moment with a star in her helmet, and
instead they decide Little Bratney is going to be doing the jamming, as is Chicago Lightning back out.
Wow, great offense. I believe that was Zena Zizou opening up a hole on the outside. Little Bratney quickly gets through there and is your lead jammer.
Angel City back up to full strength in the pack.
Little Bratney gets pushed out on the outside. She's calling it and
very emphatically.
Yeah. I think she was passionately looking at the ref and saying, I was calling it off a minute ago.
She picks up 2 points in that jam. 57 points total for the Axles of Annihilation, 22 for the Rocket Queens. 17 minutes, 44 seconds on the first period.
Now Whiskey Von Sweets has put the star on her helmet for the Rocket Queens, and that is going to be Zip Drive out there with her. We have a full complement of blockers on both sides, 4-on-4 in that blocking war. Zip Drive got out. Oh, a swing and the miss up top in corner number 1. Zip Drive is free to run, and she's your lead jammer.
Monica Geigel falling in front of Whiskey Von Sweets. Whiskey still able to get around her, step over her, and come in for her scoring pass. Both jammers now meeting great resistance.
Zena Zizou picked up a penalty. She will spend 30 seconds of her life in the penalty box.
Whiskey Von Sweets making it through the pack for a scoring pass, calling it off.
And 4 points being picked up by Zip Drive on that last pass.
Both of them picking up 4 points for their respective teams. 26 points for the Rocket Queens, 61 for the Axles of Annihilation. 16 minutes, 35 seconds on the first period.
Taco Vor. Need tacos and margaritas and a kick-ass tequila menu? Go to Taco Vor's.
I am detecting a theme, King, of delicious foods that you keep mentioning.
Well, tacos rule. So how can I go wrong here?
Tacos and burritos give us life. What can we say?
Starter Ruckus is out there right now trying to shake her way through that pack. Those blockers continue to stick in front of her, and on the other side, I believe that is Pearl Jam out as your lead jammer.
That's right. She hopped through on that apex on the inside on her toe stops to get out and get lead for the Rocket Queens.
Offense coming from the Rocket Queens, but around comes Starter Ruckus, and that's a good call off right there. You've got a little bit of a deficit. You don't want to lose any more points. I believe she picked up 2 on that pass.
Yes, she did. Doing a little nickel and diming right now. Sometimes that's what it takes.
That's all. I mean, it's early in that game, and you're not that far down. You want to get a couple points on the board and hold them scoreless.
Alkali Metal back on the jammer line going up against Vanna Curtis.
Once again, a slight pack advantage for the Axles of Annihilation. 4-on-3. Alkali Metal found a wide open hole on the outside. Lily Powell jumped in there and did stop her for a brief moment, but she is out and your lead jammer.
Really nice job by Rocket Queens, making life a little difficult for Vanna Curtis.
Oh, Vanna Curtis, I believe, just picked up a forearm, and so she is going to stop and run to the penalty box. Monica Geigel is going to join her. She also picked up a penalty, and that is going to put them in a the Rocket Queens in a power jam.
This is the second power jam that Axles of Annihilation has given to the Rocket Queens in this game. Rose City setting up their tripod in front. Angel City stopping for a second and then going in for the attack to just a swirling dervish around Rose City's defense, and it works.
That's that waterfall I love to see. When it's executed like they just did there, it was perfect. Vanna Curtis served her time in the penalty box, comes out, immediately hits that wall of red and is slowly getting by and finally finds an opening in turn 1 to get out.
Alkali Metal still fighting that back wall at the jammer line. She gets pushed out of bounds, calls it off just as Curtis hits the back of the pack.
Does pick up another point on that pass.
That was an 11-point jam for the Rocket Queens. They're now up to 40. Axles of Annihilation 61. We have a team timeout being called by the Axles of Annihilation with 13 minutes, 47 seconds in the first period clock.
Well, it's a good timeout. You know, they've had a couple jams where they've been hard up to get some scores on the board. They came out very, very strong. You want to keep that same momentum. You want to keep that same strength going throughout the game. So sometimes you got to slow everything down, let everybody catch their breath, and keep them on that same path.
Yeah, I think it's good for both teams. Just kind of take a few deep breaths. It's fine. We're doing great. And yeah, it's early enough in the game. It's no panic for anyone at this time.
Sometimes you just have to tell somebody their hair looks pretty, and that's all they need.
Just chill, baby. It's okay.
I was talking about me, of course. My hair looks pretty.
Your hair is pretty, I must say.
Somewhere at home, people are rolling their eyes.
Because they're jealous.
Beyond Thunderdame once again back out there on the track. And that is going to be going up against Block Lobster.
I never get tired of good puns and derby names. Never, ever, ever.
That's, I think, part of my entire obsession with this game is the wonderful names.
Oh.
Wow, there is a pile up in turn number 1. The Beyond Thunderdame managed to find a way out without falling down, and she's your lead jammer.
Well, she has such long legs. She's able to just step over anyone that falls in front of her, which is very convenient in games like this. Block Lobster making it out of the pack on her initial pass. Beyond Thunderdame gets knocked to the infield, picks up her points, though. Calls it off quickly.
I did think she was going to be able to stay in bounds the way she was tiptoeing around over there. But, yeah, just enough momentum pushing her out of bounds on those tiptoes. And finally she, stepped out.
65 points for the Axles of Annihilation, 40 for the Rocket Queens. Just under 13 minutes in the first period. Little Bratney back on the jammer line for the Axles of Annihilation, going up against Chicago Lightning for the Rocket Queens. Oh, that outside line left wide open for Chicago Lightning.
Well, the skater went down, but the problem is there was an entire pack there that she came back in and cut. So,
well, no pass, no penalty, because the skater went out.
Oh, there we go.
Oh. Or they caught something.
Well, one person called one thing, another person called another. I think they're going to get their stripes together and see if they can make a whole statement.
Well, the statement seems to be a 0-0 jam because everyone's setting up.
Fists in the air.
Fists in the air is like, okay, more zero power to you. Whiskey Von Sweets back on the jammer line for the Rocket Queens.
And that zip drive out there for Axles of Annihilation. So zip drive tries to take that inside line and is successful. I'm not sure how she did that. That was magic. She was there, and then on the other side is magically incredible.
Oh, Whiskey Von Sweets getting a little friendly fire from Regulator. Regulator ending up having to whip her out of the pack. Nice apex jump by Zip Drive.
That was quick. I thought they had it held down, and somehow she managed to get around. Once again, I think probably part of that magic that she was working out there.
She's just so quick.
Just that quick.
40 points for the Rocket Queens, 69 for the Axles of Annihilation, just over 11 minutes in the first period. Pearl Jam back on the jammer line for the Rocket Queens, going up against Star Ruckus.
Starter Ruckus instantly hits that red wall, trying to push it forward, and it's very slow going from there.
Well, that scrum is just so tight. She moves to the outside to get through, but it is Pearl Jam who gets out first to get lead for the Rocket Queens.
Well, and one of the things about Starter Ruckus is when she's moving, holy smokes, Pearl Jam took flight over there. She did not stick the landing. No points awarded. It's always kind of weird to see, like, there's a whole bunch of refs right there in the middle, kind of obscuring your view, and all of a sudden you see a skater come flying over the top of them.
It's like magic. And I see Hollywood Scarlets on the side. I see Tui Lyon and Rachel Rotten giving all of the advice in the land to to Pearl Jam and the rest of the Rocket Queens.
Thunder Dame once again out there going up against Block Lobster as our jammers in this jam.
Block Lobster using fancy footwork to try and sneak through on the inside. She gets through and gets lead for the Rocket Queens.
Oh, she's doing a little happy dance as she goes around through the straightaway.
I would too.
Oh, yeah. Thunder Dame twirling around in turn number 2. Say that 3 times fast.
Block Lobster is through, waits for the signal to get the call off, and she's so happy.
That's one of my favorite things. You know, there's always those like really serious players, and we're going to be really intense. I like the happy players.
Yes, she was so happy to pick up those 4 points. 44-69 in favor of the Axles of Annihilation. 9 minutes, 27 seconds in the first period.
We're going to see Little Bradney once again out there on the line. And is that Alkaline Metal I see?
I think it is. Nice little backup there that Bratney did to try and build up some speed. Not enough to get her out of the pack, though.
Yeah, Little Bratney's definitely, she is strength and speed is her game, and she just keeps those toe stops moving. Honestly, a sponsor should pick up those toe stops.
Alkaline Metal going down right there on the apex of turn 1 and now finding herself behind a tripod of death. Now getting some assistance from Wanna Tease. And now Alkaline Metal's trying to follow Wanna Tease through, unable to do so.
Robertson is back there to meet her when she comes in. Oh, a nice little bit of offense from Webster. Alkaline Metal is lead jammer and free to roam.
Oh, big hit by Tokyo Drift on the Axel's pivot there.
Here comes Webster again. Robertson was not getting taken this time. She took a step back and took the jammer with her. Lily Dow on the outside stops up that little hole over there. Little Bratney now is in the mix trying to hold down that jammer. Monica Geigel is on the floor. She's got the star in her hand and not having a good time.
Just going to say that we do have a star pass.
Yes.
And this is the first star pass that Axles of Annihilation has done in this game. Multiplayer block being called on Tokyo Drift for the Rocket Queen. She reports to the penalty box. Alkaline Metal getting recycled back, and she decides, you know what? Nah, I've had enough. She calls it off.
Sounded like a miscommunication on everyone's part over there, but that's okay. You know what? We have another jam.
And she scored 3 points in that jam, which puts Rocket Queens at 47 to Axles of Annihilation 69, just over 7 minutes in the first period.
And that's only 22 points now separating these teams. We got Zip Drive out there, and that's Chicago Lightning that she'll be having to face off against.
Thought we were going to have a pivot start, but no. Rocket Queens back it up. One of the few times that Axles of Annihilation has not started on that back line.
Vishaka Sion does manage to get a hold of Chicago Lightning, and they keep trying to hold her in that pack. On the outside of it, Zip Drive did come out on the good end as your lead jammer.
Chicago Lightning has one to beat. She gets out of the pack on her initial pass.
Zip Drive tried to take that outside. There was a strong hit by Rocket Queens, and 3 points were picked up. She went ahead and decided to call off that jam rather than risk losing any points.
Smart move. I'd do the same thing if I were in that situation.
Especially when you get hit that big.
Yeah.
No, I'm done playing. You get someone else out here.
It's like, okay, fine. Vanna Curtis versus Pearl Jam on the jammer line.
Even numbers in the blocker war. No one's in the penalty box. Vanna Curtis was almost free.
And then she landed face first right there on that inside
Yeah.
line. But she resets quickly, gets out, gets lead for the Axles of Annihilation.
Pearl Jam did get knocked out on the inside line, is drugged back. She tiptoes around the entire pack, makes it out, not your lead jammer.
It's amazing how she's able to just find those tiny little spots barely in bounds to get through the pack the way she does.
Yeah, it's a very awkward looking straddle thing, and somehow they pull it off.
Physics. They didn't study physics.
Just a glitch in the matrix. It's okay.
They just do what they want. 4 more points scored by the Axles of Annihilation in that jam. That puts them at 76 to the Rocket Queens 47. Just over 5 minutes in the first period.
Whiskey Von Sweets is on the line with the star on her helmet. Going up against Starter Ruckus. They all, Axles of Annihilation drop back on Whiskey Von Sweets. Starter Ruckus is out of the pack, and that forces her to pull the cap off to try and get that pivot at the star.
Which she was successful in doing, it looks like.
Starter Ruckus, a very, very quick jammer, quickly bounced through on the inside line. That time she jumped the apex, and there was a penalty. Oh, yeah, she made contact in the air with another skater. That is a misconduct call.
Red Raven now jamming for the Rocket Queens.
She's got a power jam.
This is the third power jam that Axles of Annihilation has given to the Rocket Queens.
Oh, man. Red Raven had a little slippage there. Vishaka Sion jumped up and stepped in. Roberts. Excuse me.
Forearm penalty being called.
That's Morgan Levy picking up that penalty.
That frees Red Raven from that front wall, so she was through for another scoring pass. She comes in.
Starter Ruckus has served her time. A humongous hit drops her. She kind of jumps right back up and then is popped out of bounds by the jammer.
By Red Raven.
Yeah.
Regulator coming in, trying to break up that tripod for Red Raven. Now it's a Wanna Tease doing the breaking up.
4 points being picked up on that pass by Starter Ruckus. I thought she had an open hole on the outside, and it closes very quickly. Morgan Levy tried to play a little bit of offense, but Starter Ruckus found the opening on the inside line, picking up a full 5-point grand slam.
Regulator back trying to help out Red Raven. All of the Rocket Queens trying to take their turns to break up that tripod, and it's just insane how Rose City just comes right back together.
Yeah. Yeah, they are very, very quick. Like they have magnets and know where to go.
That was a 19-point jam for the Axles of Annihilation. They're now up to 95. 9 points for the Rocket Queens. They're at 56, just under 3 minutes in the first period.
I'd like to give a shout out to the Pizza Research Institute. I hear it's a really unique pizza place right here in Eugene, and it's something I wanted to check out. And who doesn't want to research pizza?
So how do you become like a professor of pizza research? That's what I want to know. I want that job.
Can you be a doctor of pizza?
Ooh, could you get a doctorate in pizza research? That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Beyond Thunder Dame versus Alkali Metal. Thunder Dame out and lead. Alkali Metal right behind her.
Very spread out pack right now. Looks like they're trying to pick a goat off. Zena Zizou picking up a multiplayer block, and that will send her to the penalty box.
Pack going at a breakneck pace.
Yeah. No points picked up for the Rocket Queens. 3 points picked up for Axles of Annihilation.
I like how Alkali Metal had a difference of opinion about how many points she picked up.
Wouldn't it be great if we could call our own points? I scored this many points.
And we do see Charmer, the coach for the Rocket Queens, out there saying, "Are you sure she didn't get any points? Because I think she got some points."
I feel there should be more points on the board for me.
And this is an official timeout as a result, as the officials discuss things.
You know, I thought I came pretty glamorous today, but as I look on the track right now, I see
Rose City's bringing it.
those boots, those heels, and that purple shine. Oh my goodness.
So the refs came and did a little talking at the stats table, but it looks like a more bookkeeping more than anything, making sure that everyone's like, I may have done this, but I really meant this, so make sure that you record that I meant what I wanted to do and not what I did.
You know, I wish sometimes in life I could do that too. But all in all, I mean, we've got a fantastic ref crew out here. All the refs that show up to this event are spectacular refs. I appreciate the fact that they want to make sure they get their facts right. They want to make sure that all the penalties are set, the score is correct, and they don't want to move forward until everything is perfect. So kudos to the refs.
I like that. If you have anything to say about this game, you can find the Big O on the internets. At ECRG_the Big O is the Twitter, Instagram at Big O Social Media. And of course, if you don't want to tweet directly to the Big O, you can just hashtag Big O 2017. And of course, if you have a watching party with your pets, there is hashtag Big O Cats and hashtag Big O Dogs. So you can tweet us your photos of your pet viewing parties, and we will be highly entertained.
Wait. Let me get this right. So if my dog is at home right now watching,
Yes.
I could have it tweeted?
Yes.
I actually, I've been at a loss for words. So, honey, if you're watching at home, please send in that photo.
And we're having one of the refs come over. And King's going to lean in and see if he can find out what's going on.
Well, it looks like there is going to be a player who will be expelled.
Oh. Do we know from which team yet?
It was said very quickly, but I have a feeling we're going to find out just as quickly. I do believe it had something to do with contact with the ref.
Oh, because we do see a skater from Axles of Annihilation sitting in the penalty box. I'm wondering if it's an Axles of Annihilation skater?
We will see.
Yes, we're going to find out shortly.
More to come on that.
In the meantime, I want to say thank you to some of the vendors that are here on site. X-Pain Solutions, Wicked Skatewear, Strong Athletics, Steel Web, S1 Helmet Company, Roller Derby Athletics, Rydell, Radar Wheels, Pivot Star, Moda Skates, Living Color Duct Tape, Left Turn Clothing, Hit This, Derby Gear, Green Monster, Durbalife, Kaya Skates, Castle Megastore, and Atom.
Did you see that they had Castle Megastore crowns for adults?
I did not.
Yeah, everyone's like, hey, King, you need a crown. I'm like, that's a little adult for even me.
Oh, wow. I thought this was an all-ages tournament.
Oh, it is. Right now, we've got 1 minute and 57 seconds left in this half. We've got a score of 98-56.
Let me see if I can lean in and find anything out.
Wicked skatewear. It's wicked. It's skatewear. It's for you. It's for me.
right, so I believe I see what is going down on the track. Rogue One has just taken a seat in the penalty box. Looks like Zina Zizou will be leaving the track. Like I said, I believe there was some type of contact that was made with one of the referees. I think they said it was strong contact, and I don't know. I don't know much more than that. So we're just going to go ahead and go with the facts at what we know, and we've got a little under 2 minutes left in this half.
Well, and it's one of those things where we're not on a high stage, we're on a platform.
Right.
So our line of sight is a little obstructed for turns 1 and 2.
Right.
And so sometimes we just miss things because there's someone standing in our way or skating in our way or whatever.
Or in some cases, you have an entire center of the track that's full of refs and NSOs, and all you can see is stripes.
Yeah, they're not invisible.
You would think they should make them transparent, but
no.
Give them a cloaking device, maybe.
Block Lobster back on the line for the Rocket Queens. Going up against, is that Zip Drive? I believe that's
Yes,
Zip
it
Drive.
is.
Those shiny numbers.
There's a back advantage for the...
And Block Lobster just trying to go down the middle now, juking to the outside, now juking to the end. But again, meeting that brace tripod in the back, she's finding the sad place.
Well, you know, if you continue to work the inside just like she's doing, you're not going to get knocked out of bounds and drugged back. Zip Drive is out. She is your lead jammer.
Angel City losing Brawl Stanley to the penalty box momentarily. Well, at least for 30 seconds.
And Bella Constrictor is picking up a forearm penalty that will send her to the penalty box.
Block Lobster out of the pack on her initial pass. Angel City setting up a 3-wall in front. Like regulate her right in front of the Rose City wall and trying to communicate to her teams like, don't go too far forward. We need to set up here. And then the jam ends. Like, oh well, that was a great idea.
Hey, you know what? Communication's key on the track. That's always good to keep your all your ranks out there in the right area, on the right page, because you never know what's going through somebody else's head.
We have less than a minute on the period clock, so I'm going to go ahead and assume this will be the last jam of the first half. We have Little Bratney going up against Chicago Lightning.
Chicago Lightning engages that 3-wall with a tripod. Little Bratney tries to go in. She gets taken out and escorted out of bounds by Bullet Sucker.
Kenya Diggett, Bullet Sucker, partnering up, unable to stop Little Bratney. She gets out and gets lead for the Axles of Annihilation.
Oh, and a cut call being called on Rocket Queen's jammer. And that's going to give a power jam to Little Bratney.
It's only the second power jam that Angel City has given up to Axles of Annihilation.
Wow. It's actually fantastic. Kenya Diggett is the last line of defense. Little Bratney does manage to eke out of there. She's going to go ahead and call off this jam, giving the eyeball to the ref, saying, I have hit my hips many a time.
All right, that takes us into the half. The halftime score, 56 points for the Rocket Queens, 107 for the Axles of Annihilation. We have a 10-minute intermission, so we're going to go right into that, and we will see you in a few minutes. City Axles of Annihilation and the Angel City Derby Girls Rocket Queens. The score, 107 for Rose City, 56 for Angel City. I managed to get a penalty count at halftime, King. Are you interested in hearing what that is?
Yes, I am.
So, Axles of Annihilation has 19 penalties total, and only one skater with 3 or more penalties, and that is the new captain, Vishaka Sion. She is now captain since Zizou was expelled in the first period for that unfortunate hit on a ref that she didn't even intend to make, but sometimes things happen. So Axles is looking pretty good right now. Rocket Queens, 25 total penalties, and they have 3 skaters sitting on 4 penalties, and that would be Donna Diggler, Brawl Stanley, and Tokyo Drift.
Wow.
So they are definitely playing their hearts out. Now they need to play their hearts out and not get any penalties doing it.
Cleaner.
Just a little bit. It'll be fine.
Well, You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. You just can't break more than 7.
Yes. So we see everyone on the track and start a ruckus.
Start a ruckus. She will be the lone jammer and starting in a power jam.
That's right. It's a power start. Chicago Lightning standing in the penalty box for the Rocket Queens.
Excellent offense. They really stirred it up in the middle there, made it very easy. She jumped to the outside, went to the inside, found that open lane, and she's out as your lead jammer.
Chicago Lightning out of the box, trying to squeak by on that inside line, getting knocked into the infield, coming out of turn 2, resetting quickly. She got a track cut. We're back to a power jam for
wow.
Rose City.
Yep, that's a very, very short time in this jam. It looks like a track cut. She was trying to Starter Ruckus picked up a track cut. She was trying to be fancy. Did put a foot outside of bounds, unfortunately, because it looked really good until she got the penalty.
Yeah, it looks great, but when you're out of bounds, cutting the track while you're doing it, it's not too. Chicago Lightning going down and then going right into the back of Ruth Robertson.
Yeah, it looks like she mashed her face on Ruth Robertson's helmet, which can never feel good.
Yeah, blocking with your face, not advisable.
Starter Ruckus around turn number 4 right here in front of us. She is out of the pack and picks up 5 points.
Chicago Lightning still holding her face as she resets to the back after she getting hit to the infield.
Oh, what a nice hit. That was Tokyo Drift. Give it a nice bump. Anybody that is mortal probably would have stepped out of bounds. Somehow Starter Ruckus did a nice little flip around and stayed in.
Rogue One doing some damage on Chicago Lightning out. Chicago Lightning not being able to get out of turn 3 by the end of that jam. She's holding her nose. She's coming up to Charmer to get checked out.
The ref's even coming over here saying, you need to take a look at this injury here.
Yes, we do have an official timeout. Yes, it is an official timeout as a Chicago Lightning gets checked out. And making sure that her nose isn't broken. She's definitely holding her nose.
Yeah, that would be no good. Out there on the track right now with the stars on their helmet, and for this next jam, I would expect to see Zip Drive, and she will be accompanied by Pearl Jam.
By the way, that was a 14-point jam.
Wow.
That last jam, and that puts Axles of Annihilation at 121 to Rocket Queen's 56.
That was a quiet 14 points, actually.
Yes. Axles of Annihilation, they're being very sneaky about some of these jams, like doing these multi-pass jams and picking up all these points.
Stealth points.
Yes.
You know what? When you don't want the skaters to be taller than you, you put
I'm sitting here watching Chicago Lightning getting checked out. And we see Rose City bench crew out having lovely chats with the referees.
Well, she just likes to be out there and be glamorous.
Well, in that outfit, I would be too.
Yeah, all the world's a stage, and she wants to be on the center.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I can't even stand it. Left turn clothing swag is available in the vendor station, so go check out.
I think what they're doing right now, there was some bleeding, and so what they're out on the track
yes,
right
they're cleaning the track.
Yeah, making sure that's going to get cleaned up. And that's always good.
Yeah, we don't want a biohazard on the track.
Remember back in the day, you just say, rub some dirt in it and keep going?
Ah, yes. The good old days.
Yeah, I still have that mentality at times. You hurt yourself, get tore up somehow, and you're bleeding. It's like, I'll just put a tissue on it and walk it off.
Also want to give a shout out to Big O Wheels. The Big O is brought to you in
We have some Big O fun stats that we can talk about. You know how many teams are here?
How many teams?
33.
Wow.
Including 17 WFTDA teams, plus 4 B teams, 9 MRDA teams, 5 juniors, both men's and women's Team USA, and 2 modified contact junior teams. You know how many vendors are here?
No.
20.
Really?
Yes, that's what it says. And apparently there's 25, 26 announcers here. That sounds about right. Number of officials on skates and off, 130. Number of games scheduled, 53. 31 WFTDA games, 13 MRDA games, 6 junior games, and 3 exhibition games. Number of people on the planning committee, 50. 50 people just to plan this.
Well, it's a big event, and to have 3 tracks running at one time, it takes an army.
Yes, yes. The number of volunteers is 300.
Wow.
So roughly, if we're going to use the tracks, like 100 people per track per day.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that is insane. Distance traveled by Victoria to attend the Big O, 8,000 miles from.
Are you kidding me? Well, I guess it makes sense,
Yeah, it's a long way.
Well, coming from down under, I get it, but wow.
It's like halfway around the world or something, if I remember geography somewhat remotely. Distance traveled by Helsinki, 5,000 miles from Finland. Terminal City, they got off lucky, only 360 miles from Vancouver.
Okay.
And 2x4 from Argentina, 6,700 miles.
I saw them play yesterday. I called that game, and I was very impressed with their play. A lot of times you see, well, I shouldn't say a lot of times. Sometimes you will see teams come in, and they're somewhat unknown to some folks like myself. I've not seen them play before. They were really tight, very strong walls, good jammers. I was very impressed with their play.
Yeah, they played Windy City earlier today too.
Yeah.
They are very popular here.
Yeah, they lost by 5 points to Windy City, I believe, but they played a really good game.
Wow, I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
They said it did come down to that last jam. So
wow.
I like seeing teams, especially unfamiliar up here in the Northwest, coming in and putting on a really good show.
I also love that New Zealand and Australia, Sydney brought teams, and they played here instead of playing down under.
Right.
That is the joy of the Big O. And though we hear a whistle, which means we are getting back into gameplay. And again, Pearl Jam jamming for the Rocket Queens.
And that's Zip Drive out there. She got so low. She knew you were going to call her name, so she got low so you couldn't see it.
Yes. She's sneaky. She's so sneaky.
Well, the penalty box is clear, so all 4 blockers are out there for each team. Both jammers are trying to press the middle. Now Zip Drive trying to run up the inside line. Pearl Jam got forced to the inside line, and she squeezed out the other side as your lead jammer.
Yeah, Pearl Jam just attacked the middle of that brace wall that the Axles of Annihilation set up and was able to push her way out of it. Quite amazing.
Pearl Jam attacked the outside this time. Matt Art has already picked up a few points as she nudged people out of the way. Still fighting through the top of that apex, but she is really moving that pack forward. Great strength shown by her.
Zip Drive still working on her initial pass. She goes down along with Regulate her, but everyone resets quickly. And now she's fighting a 2-wall, still trying to break out on her initial pass for Axles of Annihilation. Pearl Jam jukes around, comes through for a scoring pass. That's 5 points for the Rocket Queens.
Yeah, it looks like Zip Drive finally has pulled that star off her helmet. She's looking for captain out there, Vishaka Sion. She went ahead and skated on by her, might have used it as a distraction method, and is finally on her way.
Pearl Jam getting the signal to call it off from her bench. She hears them and calls it after scoring 8 points for the Rocket Queens. They're now at 64. Axles of Annihilation, 121, 26 minutes, 45 seconds in the game.
We are going to see Vanna Curtis out there again on the line, going up against Alkaline Metal.
And we see Axles of Annihilation going back to what has been working really well for them, just walling it up against that jammer line, making life incredibly miserable for Alkaline Metal. And Curtis going on the defense there herself until she takes that outside line to meet the Angel City tripod.
Monica Geigel in there just did a nice little dip. It looked for a second that Alkaline Metal was going to come through. Oh, and a penalty's picked up on Geigel, speaking of her. But she was managed to hold her in there for just a little while longer.
It was enough to get Curtis out of the pack and lead for the Axles of Annihilation.
2 blockers out there, and for Axles of Annihilation, a full complement out there for the Rocket Queens. Vanna Curtis comes in and does get stopped. No points scored. Excellent work defensively. And I think that was Can Ya Dig It?
I love watching her skate. She's really fun.
I like her name.
Yes, that too. She's all kinds of awesome. So that's a 0-0 jam. Score maintained 64 to 121 in favor of the Axles of Annihilation.
Excuse me. Thunder Dame out there on the line in purple. Block Lobster in the red. Only 2 blockers out there for the Axles of Annihilation.
That's right, Thunder Dame getting caught up in that back Angel City wall as Block Lobster dances around to meet the 2 Rose City defenders.
Multiplayer block on one of the defensive players out there for Rocket Queens. And finally, Thunder Dame finds an opening and breaches the pack.
Block Lobster already out and lead for Angel City. She comes in for a scoring pass. She gets forced to the outside, calls it off just as Thunder Dame hits the back of the pack. She picks up 3 points in the process for the Rocket Queens, shutting out Axles of Annihilation on that jam. 67 to 121, 24 minutes, 33 seconds in the game.
Well, for all you folks listening to us at home, you are listening to us via Velvet Thunder Sound Services. They are the ones making us sound nice.
We sound good and stuff.
Little Bratney out there on the line for the Axles of Annihilation, and I believe she who just got bumped out was Whiskey Von Sweets.
I like Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Von Sweets. And now Von Sweets is facing that back tripod that Axles of Annihilation has set up. But Red Raven coming out of the penalty box. She's the pivot. It was in there at the start of the jam, helping her out, getting her out, and lead for the Rocket Queens.
Whiskey Von Sweets, nice little. It was a nice little jump and a turn to get those 4 points in there. Quickly got in there and got those points, and then called it off.
Very nice work. And again, more nickel and diming by Rocket Queens coming out of halftime here. So slowly chipping away at the lead of Axles of Annihilation, 71 to 121, just over 23 minutes in the game.
Little Bratney on the line, and excuse me, that's Starter Ruckus on the line, and she will be going up against Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam getting caught up in a back tripod of Axles of Annihilation, and they're actually moving up to the front of the pack. Angel City doing their best, holding back Starter Ruckus.
Yeah, they got left in the dust way back there at the top of the apex. Starter Ruckus finally does get out.
That's right. Regulator had to let her go because she got a forearm penalty called on her.
Oh, no. Well, Starter Ruckus, I think, caught him looking the other way or noticing at the very last second because she ran right through the middle of everybody to pick up those points.
Wow. That's a quick, she's just scoring incredibly fast for the Axles of Annihilation. 10 points so far in this jam.
Starter Ruckus is right there in turn number 3. She's now bouncing off of everybody. Penalty was called. That is on Wanna Tease. And Starter Ruckus is out, getting 5 points.
Pearl Jam finally out of the pack on her initial pass for the Rocket Queens.
Nice big hit. That was from Brawl Stanley, taking out Starter Ruckus, and that forced her to call off that jam.
That's right. Tokyo Drift was trying to say, come back to here. And Starter Ruckus says, no, I'm just going to call it.
No, I'm not running back there. That sounds like a lot of work.
15 points scored by the Axles of Annihilation. They are now at 136. Rocket Queens 71. 21 minutes, 30 seconds in the game.
Zip Drive is on the line, and she will be playing against Alkali Metal.
Alkali Metal trying to find some daylight. Goes to the outside, taking advantage of that.
Yeah, that was great speed right there. She found that hole and was through it like lickety-split.
And again, the outside line left wide open, managing to call it off before Axles of Annihilation could score. That's 4 points for the Rocket Queens. 75 points for the Rocket Queens, 136 for the Axles of Annihilation.
Block Lobster out there going up against Vanna Curtis.
Angel City taking that back line this time.
Looks like we got one down from each blocker squad.
And both blockers that are in the penalty box are standing. Wanatee's back on the track, as is
Lily Dow.
Lily Dow.
And Vanna Curtis found an opening on that inside line as she got past that corner of that red wall.
Look how low Curtis is getting.
Oh, wow. She went right between Donna Diggler and Wanatees to get out of that pack. 5 points quickly scored by Vanna Curtis.
We now have a power jam in favor of the Axles of Annihilation.
Looks like a cut track was called on that to send that jammer to the penalty box.
Both teams have had 4 power jams so far in this game.
Vanna Curtis got low, thought she could get around. Excellent job. Donna Diggler and Wanatees slowed her down quite a bit. She did finally get by, scoring 5 points.
Angel City setting up in the front of the pack. Nice assisting by Lily Dow as Curtis hits the pack.
Rid of all evil picking up a penalty. She will spend some time in the penalty box. She was one of our junior skaters who aged out, got older, and now plays for Axles of Annihilation.
Curtis calling it off right at the end there after 15 points being scored for the Axles of Annihilation. 151 for the Axles of Annihilation, 75 for the Rocket Queens, just under 19 minutes left in the game.
Thunder Dame going up against Pearl Jam.
I like the little high five they just gave each other.
Oh, yeah. Love of the sport, man.
And again, Angel City grabbing that back line. Thunder Dame trying to juke her way through.
Oh, nice job. They all basically kind of like went around the purple wall and reformed in the front. It was excellent work to recycle and get back up there.
Both jammers trying to juke their way around. Thunder Dame really using some matrix moves. Oh, wow. Big pile up thanks to Root of All Evil.
Root of All Evil came out of the penalty box, picked up that back block, and it's headed right back where she started.
Thunder Dame, oh, she was almost out, stepped into the infield. She gets recycled back to the pivot line behind Kenya Diggett.
Direction to play penalty, that is going to be on Bullet Sucker.
Pearl Jam still working in the back against a purple tripod.
It seems like everything has come to a, well, I was going to say everything came to a complete halt. And just like that,
it doesn't.
Yeah, Thunder Dame did a nice little bounce to the inside and took off running.
Pearl Jam still trying to get out on her initial pass. Thunder Dame already around, taking that outside, getting around Kenya Diggett.
Yeah, Root of All Evil to put a body on Kenya Diggett, just enough to slow her down, get her jammer free.
Thunder Dame already around for another scoring pass for the Axles of Annihilation. Angel City not getting their wall together quick enough to stop her.
Yeah.
That's another 5 points for the Axles of Annihilation.
And you gotta, when they're separated like that, you gotta get closer together. They started off really good in this jam, and now they just can't seem to get enough bodies in one spot at one time.
Timing is everything with that. It's like you stay apart too long, and that's when jammers can thread the needle to get through, and that is what we're seeing right now.
I think they heard me talking because they have just executed an excellent tripod. And look at that. They stopped Thunder Dame, pushed it out of bounds. This jam comes to an end. 4 points are picked up by the Axles of Annihilation.
We see Pearl Jam going to the penalty box, look like for a back block penalty at the very end of the jam.
Well, it's going to start little Bratney with a power jam at this. That's nice. Well, I guess nice for Axles of Annihilation.
Yeah, Axles of Annihilation are stoked. Rocket Queens, not so much.
Yeah.
We have
all of LA just hated me right at once.
Official timeout going on right now, making sure all the points are getting counted. That was a 19-point jam for Beyond Thunder Dame. 170 points for Axles of Annihilation, 75 for the Rocket Queens. The clock right now is stalled at 16 minutes, 12 seconds in the game. I see Lacey Knight running over to the Rocket Queens bench. I'm sure she's going to give some advice.
Timeout is over. 5 seconds is called. They are lined up, ready to execute some offense, and here it comes, the inside line. Oh, nice job, though, by the Rocket Queens.
Yeah, that's one of T's. They're very looking for that juke to the inside and was able to catch Bratney just as she thought she had a free lane.
Yeah, they recycled up very well, getting around that offense and continue to put a body in front of little Bratney. Even now, Tokyo Drift did a nice slide sideways and glided her out. Little Bratney, though, jumped out of that and is your lead jammer.
Pearl Jam out of the penalty box. She has the star in her hand. She intends to just go right on through, but a track cut takes her right back into the penalty box. This is now the 6th power jam that the Rocket Queens have handed to the Axles of Annihilation.
Bella Constrictor came up, give a little bit of love tap, trying to test the water. Now they're all coming from that inside line. Little Bratney, well, I thought she was going to get free. Excellent work by Tokyo Drift. Jumped right in front of her, stopped it, and that wall formed right around her.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift, she's like God. She's everywhere.
She sees you when you're sleepy. That or Santa Claus.
Totally different myth. Okay.
Just like that. Yes, she did. She's got the cap still in her hand.
Yes, Pearl Jam back on the track, doing the star stash again, through on her initial pass. Jam gets called as she hits the back of the pack to score after a 10-point jam for the Axles of Annihilation. 180 for the Axles of Annihilation, 75 for the Rocket Queens. 14 minutes, 27 seconds left on the clock.
We're going to see Started Ruckus out there in our next jam to get this started up, and that's going to be Whiskey Von Sweets.
Okay, I just saw Regulator from the Rocket Queens. She is skating on one skate because she broke the rear axle on her left skate.
Oh.
That is very bad timing, but luckily we have vendors galore here who can fix these things, so hopefully she will be able to do something to get back in the game. 14 minutes left. We'll see if she'll be able to come back.
Whiskey Von Sweets with an excellent move. She was on the outside, did a couple steps, and all of a sudden she was on the inside line. She's your lead jammer.
Start a ruckus out on her initial pass.
Whiskey Von Sweets, beautiful spin on the outside line around Rogue One, picking up 4 easy points.
More like Whiskey Von Sweep, am I right? That was.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Oh, almost landed that apex jump. Oh, she's like, oh, right. I
was
have
I out?
to.
Oh, okay, I'll crawl out of here.
Yeah, I'll not get on my skates, and I will come back in.
Nothing to see here. Look away. This pack is very separated out. Yeah, Vishaka Sion's going to pick that out-of-play call up.
Nice big hit on Whiskey Von Sweets.
And failure to reform on Morgan Levy.
So only 2 blockers for Axles of Annihilation right now. Whiskey Von Sweets, though, having trouble getting around them. Oh, wait, let's see a little bit of whiskering going on. Oh! Whiskey Von Sweets hitting that infield so hard.
Whiskey Von Sweets go ahead and calls it off per her bench's suggestion. 4 points picked up.
That's wise.
Or excuse me, 3 points picked up. That was that weird pinky angle. And 4 points being picked up by the Axles of Annihilation.
7 points total in that jam for the Rocket Queens. They're now up to 82. Axles of Annihilation picking up 4. 184 is their score. 12 minutes, 25 seconds in the game.
I'd like to thank Rydell Skates. The Big O is brought to you in part by Rydell and all the Solaris. And you can also get all that performance right there at rydellskates.com.
Zip drive back on the jammer line for Axles of Annihilation, but it's, and Block Lobster, Block Lobster thought she was out, gets a forearm call.
Oh, man.
She's on her way to the penalty box. This is the 7th power jam in favor of the Axles of Annihilation.
And Zip Drive is out. She's your lead jammer. And unfortunately, they're having a number of power jams they're giving up just right here in the last few minutes.
Wow, zip drive barely nailing that landing on that
Nope.
apex jump. Oh, no, she gets a track cut.
Yep, I thought she put that skate out of bounds. Couldn't quite tell if it was on the line or over it, but yep, that ref was standing right there. She had all the angle, and she called that cut.
Block Lobster back on the track. We now have a 2-minute jam.
Block Lobster's calling the play. She tried to go to that inside. Monica Gaggle did jump in front of her, but Block Lobster went ahead and ran to the outside and picked up initial pass.
And I think Geigel's momentum actually helped push Block Lobster through the pack. Zip drive back on the track and through for a scoring pass as well.
That was quick and very quiet. I looked up, all of a sudden there was points in the air.
Nice duck under by Zip Drive, but she gets knocked out, I do believe, by Brawl Stanley. And Brawl Stanley goes and sits in the penalty box. Whoops.
They're trading points right now. Both of them just picked up 4 as they both went through the pack.
9-4. Well, 8-12, I think, right now, points-wise for each team.
Monica Gaggle came in there trying to open up that offense and hit Wanatees out of bounds.
She sent her flying.
Block Lobster came in. She's going to stop real quick as she got knocked down, catch her breath.
Yeah, she landed right on her knees, and I hate that type of fall where it's like when it's at a 90-degree angle on your knees. It is so freaking painful, so I can understand why she would take a second. It's like, are we done with this jam? Because I would not mind if we were done with this jam. 12 points scored in that jam for the Rocket Queens, putting them at 94. 13 points scored by Axles of Annihilation. They're at 197.
Vanna Curtis on the line, and as I said that, she blasted right through the line, and she is out, followed closely by Alkali Metal.
Vanna Curtis assessing the situation, taking the outside as she comes in for her scoring jam. Alkali Metal coming up quick, forcing the call off. No points scored by either team.
Beyond Thunderdame.
Versus Pearl Jam.
Yep. There's some people, I believe, sitting in that penalty box, so I believe this pack is going to be just a little short for both sides. Looks like 3-on-3.
Angel City starting right on the jammer line. Rose City starting at the pivot, moving back as the whistle blows. Pearl Jam trying to hurl herself around. It is successful for her. She gets out and gets lead.
Oh, that was nice. Thunderdame almost did the same move, had to do a little spin to get out of it. Finally, Thunderdame is out of the pack.
Oh, Pearl Jam going right through the middle of Rose City's attempts at coming together in their tripod. She was able to take advantage, getting her points and calling it off.
Almost looks like a nice little high step through it.
Yeah. 98 points for the Rocket Queens, 197 for the Axles of Annihilation. 8 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock.
Little Bratney is, Little Bratney is on the line. Whiskey Von Sweets is out there with her.
And we're seeing this more and more where the pack is starting at the pivot line and then they're moving back. Oh, open outside line for Little Bratney. She takes full advantage, gets out and gets lead coming out of turn 1.
That was kind of crazy. The entire line came back and played a little offense and then formed a perfect little wall to hold the other jammer in. It was almost like they practiced that.
Yeah, it's like they are working on strategery or something. Little Bratney calling it off as Whiskey Von Sweets hits the back of the pack, literally.
Literally did a nice little spin. Oh! But I believe that is a misconduct call. She was probably in the air making contact.
Yeah, it happened on the far side of the track from us, so
I'm
it's hard to
speculating.
see. And Rose City earns a 5th point on that. Interesting. So they got 5 points, 202 to Rocket Queens at 99. We have an official timeout. That was a little confusing at the end, so
Yes,
I can understand why.
It was. There was some stuff and a couple things that happened, and especially when they happen on the other side from the track of you, it takes a moment for you to assess what is going on.
And this is Rose City calling for the official timeout. Interesting.
Well, tonight we are going to have an after party. It is at Falling Skies Delicatessen. $1 off of house beers, $2 off of snacks if you mention the Big O. So once again, Saturday night's after party. If you are at home for some reason and not here watching, but you still want to party with us, you can go to Falling Skies.
I want snacks.
Yeah. All
Sounds
about
like
the
a
snacks.
good deal.
So thank you so much. And also, DJ Agent now has been spinning all the tunes all the days. It's been amazing.
Well, to get this next jam started, we're going to see Starter Ruckus once again out there. All 4 of the blockers for Rose City are on the track. 3 blockers that does look like are out there. I do believe there's a 4th one coming.
Yeah, everyone's kind of gathered in their own little social circles. So it's a little hard to figure out who's going to be doing what in this next jam. Well, Axles of Annihilation seems to be ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Angel City, they're prepping themselves.
Well, there's just over 7 minutes left in this game. 103 points now separate these 2 teams. Rocket Queens have done a great job of doing the quick hits and scoring, but the power jams they have given up has hurt them in the long run. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a referee come over, wanted to discuss what we were seeing out there on the track and what the official review was all about. I believe we're getting the final word on what it's going to be. Tara Armoff will give you the update as soon as we find out.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hey, what's up?
So I just sent my glasses flying trying to listen to the explanation for that official timeout. So, was it Whiskey Von T sitting in the penalty box?
Mm-hmm.
Rose City wanted, she went in for a misconduct. They wanted to upgrade it to an expulsion, and
okay.
they were denied.
Okay.
So that's what that official review was about. It's like,
So,
yes,
play
she
stance.
was misconducting, but it wasn't egregious.
Ah, gotcha. It wasn't that extra bad kind.
Right.
Okay.
And she is standing in the penalty box as we speak.
Starter Ruckus is on her scoring streak right now. She's in corner number 2, trying to fight her way through.
Whiskey Von Sweets hitting the back of that tripod that Axles of Annihilation got set up.
Robertson's took her way back. They are out of play right now. They need to move up. Geigel's going to get hit with that out of play call.
Whiskey Von Sweets doing the star stash on that initial pass. She gets through. Star Ruckus meeting all kinds of resistance from Angel City coming out of turn 4. So she says, well, I scored some points, so I'm just going to call it off. Picking up 5 for the Axles of Annihilation. They're up to 207 to Rocket Queen's 99. Just under 6 minutes left in the game.
We're going to see Zip Drive on the line one more time. She will be facing off against Alkali Metal.
Angel City adopting the Axles of Annihilations, starting on the back of the line there.
I think they're just trying to take away that position that...
Well, it's worked so well for Axles of Annihilation. It's like, well, they're doing it. Let's see how it works for us. And it's working well as it's containing Zip Drive. But Alkali Metal is also being contained.
Yes, she is. Rogue One and Lily Dow. Oh, excuse me, that was not Lily Dow. That is Morgan Levy, who is back there. Were leading the charge, making sure that jammer was contained. Monica Geigel comes in for the penalty box, comes in with fury, rocks the wall, but Kenya Diggett brushed it off and is continuing to block Zip Drive.
Alkali Metal getting out and getting lead for the Rocket Queens. Angel City setting up their defense in the front of the pack. Alkali Metal coming by on the outside, untouched, getting through, getting 5 points for the Rocket Queens.
Oh, she's pumping her fist as she comes by. She's getting fired up, having a good time.
Zip drive through the pack on her initial pass.
Oh, she this time takes a big step right through the middle of that pack, picking up another 4 points.
Monica Geigel back to the penalty box for an arms penalty, I believe.
Zip drive getting taken out by Can You Dig It? Can You Dig It is picking up a penalty.
Yeah, I didn't see what the hand signal from the ref on that
I
one.
think it was a low block.
Okay. Dramatic end to that jam. 9 points. Oh no, excuse me. 11 points scored by the Rocket Queens. They have broken the century mark. 110 points. 4 points scored by Axles of Annihilation. They're at 211. Just under 4 minutes left in the game.
Vanna Curtis is going to be out there on the line with a star on her helmet. She will be joined with Block Lobster.
We see Coach Charmer out there having a couple of things to say to the refs and then running back to the bench.
Only one blocker out there for a brief moment, there was only one blocker out there. Made it very easy for Vanna Curtis to get through.
She meets resistance from Bullet Sucker on her scoring pass.
Block Lobster was having a good time. She's talking to the folks in the corner who are all there cheering her on. Jam does come to an end. 4 points were picked up by Axles of Annihilation.
Just over 3 minutes left in the game.
Thunder Dame and Pearl Jam are going to be your jammers out there on the track.
Angel City having a bit of a revolving door on the penalty box. It's affecting their blocking capabilities right now. Well, they have 2 on the track and the jammer.
And
Thunder Dame. Oh my
wow,
goodness.
completely contained them, and they were able to pick up the jammer in the process. Thunder Dame is your lead jammer.
Can You Dig It out of the penalty box, joining her teammates to set up a defensive wall as Thunder Dame comes up on the outside.
And it looks like another penalty is going to be assessed. That's going to be a power jam, and that is going to sit Pearl Jam in the penalty box.
That is the 9th power jam in favor of the Axles of Annihilation.
5 points being picked up on that pass for Thunder Dame.
Rocket Queens setting up their defense in the front, getting some offense from Axles of Annihilation as Thunder Dame comes in for a scoring pass.
Oh, wow, that was a nice move, gliding through 1 foot. 5 points on the board for Thunder Dame.
It always amazes me to see when they're able to do that, to balance on 1 foot and just basically lean their weight on the opposition and letting that momentum just carry them through.
Thunder Dame came in very hard, rocked the snot out of Can You Dig It. Oh, and that is a penalty going to be assessed on Thunder Dame. She will be spending the next 30 seconds of her life in the penalty box.
That is the 6th power jam in favor of the Rocket Queens in this game.
Root of All Evil looks to be the GOAT right now, but she is pushing that wall almost all the way up to where she needs to be.
Pearl Jam, drafting Can You Dig It through the pack, able to squeak by on that inside line, picking up 5 points for the Rocket Queens.
That was a nice move.
Again, one of those serendipitous timing things, just beautiful. Another scoring pass by Pearl Jam, beyond Thunder Dame, back on the track.
Nice clash in turn number 2. They both collide, and Thunder Dame ends up having to jump to freedom, picking up 4 points on that pass.
I love jump to freedom.
Freedom.
14 points scored by Axles of Annihilation. They're now at 229. 11 points scored by the Rocket Queens. 122 points for them. 30 seconds left on the period clock.
Whiskey Von Sweets out there going up against Little Bratney.
Axles of Annihilation setting up a 2-2.
Very strong start. Both jammers are being locked down. Now the bodies are starting to clear. Little Bratney went down. People were tripping over her. Bullet Sucker lays a huge hit on her and rocks her back.
Whiskey Von Sweets thinking she can step over Axles of Annihilation there at the front, and is able to get out and get lead for the Rocket Queens. Seeing a track cut being called on one of the blockers. That's on Tokyo Drift of the Rocket Queens.
And little Bradney picked up what looks to be a track cut. No, it was not.
Lies, all lies.
The ref faked me out and her, so I'll go with it.
Scoring pass for a little Bratney. Whiskey Von Sweets calling it off after scoring one more point. The unofficial final, 127 for the Rocket Queens, 233 for the Axles of Annihilation. Wow, so 9 power jams in favor of Axles of Annihilation, 6 in favor of the Rocket Queens. So I just think that the Axles of Annihilation just more consistent.
Yeah.
In this games. Like Angel City had really good moments of working together, and then they were able to be blown apart, literally, by Axles of Annihilation.
Well, also, I think you nailed it by talking about the penalties. They had lots of blocker penalties. They left them short in there. And once you're short, you can't really play the offense that you want to play. You can't hold the jammer or contain the jammer as well as you need to. And a lot of times I felt like there was a number of power jams right in a row that caused some problems for them. So it was unfortunate for Angel City, fortunate for Axles of Annihilation, and in the end, we saw a really good game.
That's right. And so with that, we're going to wrap this up. Stay tuned here on Track 3, because at around 4, we have Boulder versus Pirate City from New Zealand. So you want to be sure to tune into that. I'm Tara Armoff.
And I am the King.
And we're out of here.
Have a great day. That was wonderful.